You know that feeling, right? You're stuck in a conversation about, I don't know, the weather or what somebody's having for lunch, and you can just feel your brain packing its bags and checking out. It's awkward, it's draining, and honestly, it's pretty frustrating. But what if there's something much deeper going on here? Let's get into it and figure out why it so often feels like we're all just talking past each other. I mean, really think about it. Have you ever felt that dread when a conversation kicks off and you can see the entire boring roadmap laid out in front of you? Well, you are not alone. That feeling is so incredibly common, it's pretty much a universal human experience. And this quote from a Reddit user it absolutely nails it. See, it's not about being antisocial or rude. It's about the conversation feeling like a task, like a chore you have to get through, instead of, a genuine connection you actually want to make. Lori Helgo, who's written about this stuff, puts it perfectly. For so many of us, the issue isn't that we dislike people. Not at all. It's that we hate the superficial walls that small talk throws up, the very things that stop a real, honest-to-goodness connection from ever happening. And this, right here, is the key idea we're going to unpack. So let's start with that feeling itself, the awkward silence. Oh, you know the one. It's that moment when the conversation just stalls out, and everyone's left feeling a little bit exposed. But why does that silence feel so awkward? To get to that, we've got to look at what makes us want to talk in the first place. And a huge part of the answer comes down to something really fundamental, our personality. For some people, filling that silence with pleasantries is second nature. But for a whole lot of others, hating small talk isn't just a mood they're in, it's actually baked right into who they are. Psychology actually tells us that having a really strong dislike for small talk isn't just about being shy. It's often deeply, deeply connected to personality traits like introversion or being what's called a highly sensitive person. And these aren't choices, right? They're just the fundamental way someone experiences and processes the world around them. And this really breaks down the why behind it all. It's not about someone having an empty mind. It's usually the exact opposite. They have a really full one. These traits show a person who values authenticity over just performing. They crave something with substance, and they have to be careful with their social energy. It's not that they have nothing to say, it's that they really prefer to think before they speak. But okay, it's not just about personality. What if it goes even deeper? What if some of our brains are literally fundamentally wired to approach conversation with completely different goals? This is where it gets really, really interesting. This is the Great Divide. Think of it like this. One communication style sees conversation as a tool for social bonding. The topic? It's kind of secondary to the act of just connecting. But the other style sees conversation as a way to share information, to explore ideas. For them, the connection happens through the interesting content. Two totally different goals. Okay, so this chart lays it out beautifully. Think of it as two different operating systems. On the left, you have what's often called a neurotypical style. The motivation is connection, it's structured, a lot of the meaning is hidden between the lines, in subtext and body language, and good manners means you listen quietly and wait your turn. Then, on the right, you have a more neurodivergent style. Here, the motivation is the topic itself. Let's just get straight to the good stuff. The meaning is in the actual words you say. And good manners? Well, that's showing you're engaged by jumping in, by sharing your own experiences that relate. See the difference? And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It shows you exactly where the wires get crossed. What one person sees as a rude interruption, the other person sees as the main way to show, hey, I'm interested, I get what you're saying, let's connect on this. It's a complete and total mismatch in the rulebook. And believe it or not, there's actually a name for this whole phenomenon, the double empathy problem. And it's such a game-changing idea. It moves us away from thinking one group is bad at communicating and reframes the whole thing as a mutual misunderstanding. It's a two-way street. It's just a mismatch between two equally valid but very different communication styles. All right, so what actually happens when these two different worlds, these two completely separate conversational rulebooks, smash into each other in daily life? Well, as you can probably guess, it gets messy. So imagine this. If you're using that direct, content-focused style, giving more information is how you make sure you're being clear. It's how you build a connection. But from the other side's perspective, it can come across as awkward, like you're oversharing, TMI. You're just trying to connect, but you end up being seen as, well, a weirdo. And here is the other side of that exact same trap. After you get misunderstood a few times, you might pull back, right? You try to avoid making things worse. But that with withdrawal, which you mean as giving people space, gets read as you being standoffish, snobby, or even hostile. It's a total catch-22. You're basically damned if you do and damned if you don't. And this constant cycle of being misunderstood creates this intense anxiety, this feeling of being totally trapped. It's like you're trying to walk through a social minefield, where any step you take could set off another explosion of misunderstanding. So, what do we do about this? How do we fix it? Well, the goal isn't to say one style is right and one is wrong. That's not it at all. It's about recognizing that both exist, and then figuring out how we can build a bridge between them. I mean, let's be real, small talk isn't just going to disappear. It's kind of the social lubricant of our world. So the challenge isn't to just get rid of it. The challenge is to get better at navigating it, to find ways to gently steer it from the shallow end of the pool toward the deep end, where the real meaningful connection actually happens. And here are 4 really practical things anyone can try. First, ask better questions. Questions that invite a story, not just a yes or no. Second, try to shift your mindset to one of real, genuine curiosity. What's it like to be them? Third, you can lead by example. When someone asks you a simple question, give a slightly more specific, revealing answer to invite them in. And finally, if you feel that anxiety creeping up, just use simple things like deep breathing to stay calm and in the moment. So if you only remember one thing from all this, let it be this. The next time you're in one of those frustrating conversations, or you see someone being quiet in a group, just pause for a second. It might not be bad manners, it might not be a lack of interest, it might just be 2 different brains with 2 totally different instruction manuals trying their best to connect. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We spend so much time and energy trying to get better at small talk. But what if we're focused on the wrong thing? What if, instead of trying to master a game where we all have different rules, we just put that energy into getting better at understanding the other player? Now that's something to think about.